Hey everyone, this is Alejandro, and I am here with the second part of our frying pan. So we finished modeling it, and now we're going to move to unwrapping it. And if I have time afterwards, I'll do a quick texture in Substance Painter. If you don't have Substance Painter with you, you can just bring in some textures into Maya and apply them to your unwrap. So apply them to your model after you unwrapped it. So let's get started. For starters, we're going to just separate the pieces. That way we kind of know what we're looking at. If you get this weird kind of green looking texture, that just means that nothing is being applied in your viewport. So to just remedy this, you can assign an existing texture if you have one by just holding right click and going all the way down to here. Assign new material, assign favorite material, and assign existing material. I'm just going to choose Lambert 1. So there you go, it's fixed. So to start, um, well, it kind of already did it for us, at least with having a cut. We have this white line here, and that's going to represent our cut on the mesh. So if I come over here to my UV space, I can just choose either the shell itself, that way, and you can even come in here and select the shell itself as well. You can do that, or you can just kind of choose faces and groups. I like using shell because it gives me each giant piece, and I feel it's easier to work with. So here, I think what we'll do, just see what it looks like smooth previewed. Okay, yeah, we can just leave it like this. So I'm going to create the uh, the unwrap. So again, kind of how we talked about last time. Here are the options you can use within the UV toolkit. I'm just going to choose normal based, and as you can see, nothing really happened. I think it's pretty much like at the right spot that Maya wants us to have it at. Um, if at any point you have some of these scaling UVs, you can move it to the side, or you can come here to arrange and layout and just press the layout button here. See, now it just arranges everything that you have selected into the 1 by 1 square space for your UVs. So that looks good, but I notice if I turn on the checker UV, we get a bit of stretching at the top, and we don't want that. So yeah, see where it's red, it kind of shows you like the UV being stretched out. So to remedy this, what we're going to do is going to select the shell. We're going to come over to unfold. So in unfold, we have optimize, unfold, unfold along, straighten UVs, etc. I'm just going to choose unfold, and already we should be getting a more square, clean look. There's a bit of stretching still, but it's not as bad as it was before. Honestly, hitting between optimize and unfold for a little bit will kind of yield uh, a more clean UV. All right, so bottom part, again, getting some stretching. So it's going to unfold, optimize maybe a little couple times, unfold one more time. All right, so that's as far as it'll go. So there we go. Now we've unwrapped our first piece. So we'll move on to the handle, and we'll work our way from all the way from the end and go back to the pan. So here, what we can do is unwrap this by cutting a spline or cutting an edge, kind of how it has already. all the way down the middle. So to show you how to do this, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew everything so that way you can see from beginning how it can be done. I am going to select the end cap right here of the piece of metal, and with this I'm going to cut. Okay, so now that we have that, I'm going to choose probably the most close inward edge loop. Make sure it's even, and then I'm going to choose the most outward. I think it should be that one. From here, just going to clean up my selections. This will be a good chance to use your X-ray. Uh, X-ray. It's called X-ray. Okay. Choose that, and refine your selection. Okay. So now that we have that settled, now we can come over here and also cut them. So okay, now we have them cut. So what I'm going to do again is choose UV shells. I'm come over here and select what I have already cut out, and I'm going to map it to node-based mapping. So as you can see, what I'm doing right here is I'm holding Shift right click, and it's just giving me shortcuts to what I already have here on the UV toolkit. So yeah, if you ever feel like just doing your workflow from within the UV editor uh, viewport, just use Shift right click. So normal based, grab the second one, normal based. So as you can see, it has the shape of the hook, but what we want is to have, at as best as we can, a straight almost tube that's unwrapped. So to get this, especially with the complicated uh, cylinder or pipe, if you want to call it that, we're going to take the outermost edge, now that we have it unwrapped, and we're going to make sure it's all selected, minus the selections within the circle on the inside, which I don't know why it's still a thing. Okay, so with that out of the way, take off X-ray. We're going to come over to the cut and sew options here, and we're going to sew and move. Let's see, should be here. I don't see it. Well, anyways, another way to access it is by holding Shift and choosing the top option, which is Move and Sew Edges. So there you go. Clearly, we don't have anything that groundbreaking yet, but if you work with it, I'm just going to align it so it's as straight as can be for when we start unwrapping it. Now, if I press normal base, yeah, it gives me this weird wonky looking, it looks like it's trying to unwrap it from this angle in the viewport. We don't want that. No, no, don't save. That's that's gonna cause a bunch of problems. Okay, there we go. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to unfold, and now we should have a more or less straight pipe in UV space. So I'm just gonna optimize it a bit. You can see it adjusts slightly and unfold, optimize and unfold. So just switching between these two. So we can leave it like this. If you see in the checkered display, everything's pretty uniform, minus the cap here. But just after unfolding it and making sure it's all worked out, um, there you go. you have a pretty clean unwrap, and just adjust this really quick. So yeah, there you have it. If you want to have your UVs more straight, then what I can suggest is it's within the UV editor toolkit, or the UV toolkit, sorry. We're going to come over and select the shell, and then within the unfold tab, we're going to straighten UVs. So what that does, let me just take off the checkered. It tries its best to align all the UVs to a square sort of look. It's a hit or miss. Sometimes you can get artifacts like this happening. So do keep in mind it's not perfect. It's close, but it's just not perfect. So let me try this. Okay, let's see if straighten the shell now will give me a better result. Okay, I mean that's better. You know, before we had some of these edges coming down here, but now it's all straight. So I'll just leave it like that. Yeah, that's fine. So this kind of technique I was showing you applies mainly with complex, I want to say like complex cylinder shapes. If you have like a piece of rope, that this technique I just showed you is kind of how you would unwrap it in Maya. You wouldn't need to straighten it out like a flat, solid rectangle, how I did, but if you want to, you can. So now we're going to move on to the next piece. And let me just turn off the checkered, see where we're at with this. Okay, so first things first, I'm just going to sew, then choose this edge, make sure. Oh, right. If you ever want to just work with what you have selected, you can press isolate select and it'll hide everything else. So keep in mind if you're working in a mode, it'll isolate even the object itself. So be careful with that. Be sure to select the object first and then isolate. So I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna just make my cuts where I see them. And that should be good. So cut. So, but I do need this area right here. All right, I'll just cut it again. Cut. Okay. Cut. Cut. And last but no, wait, second to last but not least. Cut and cut. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is just gonna do a little bit of cleanup. Okay, so now they have this selected, we can start taking our shells and unwrapping them. So I'm gonna go to shell, gonna choose, you know what, we can probably make this selection a little bigger. So instead, before I start anything else, I'm gonna sew and then cut. And clean this part right here. Sometimes you can get, yeah, I know you just saw me cleaning this out, but sometimes that'll happen with Maya. It just gets kind of finicky. Um, I wish I had a better explanation, but that's kind of how Maya is. Sometimes it just doesn't want to work. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. now that I have everything I need, oh, you can also select UV shells from within the viewport, not just in the UV editor. To do that, go to right click, and then to the right, you'll see UV. You can choose UV or the shells themselves. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to start unwrapping and then optimizing and unfolding. And then the next piece, unwrap, unfold, optimize. But see, now we ran into the problem. We have this area that I cut so that I can make a cylinder shape out of. So we can get back to that right after. Unfold. Then unfold. Okay, so now we have that. Hmm, interesting. Oh, this is why. Yeah, so for whatever reason, sometimes creating projections will erase any edges you've made. So just be aware. Um, you sometimes don't even have to make a unwrap if you already make the cuts that you need for your mesh. The create and just kind of unwrapping in general is just meant to help you with your UVs. You technically have them already unwrapped when you make your cuts to begin unwrapping them. So you can just kind of skip most of it and just unfold, optimize, unfold. If you want to straighten it, there you go. Gonna grab this. Let's see, where is it? Hmm, it's not showing up. Okay. Okay, so unfold. Okay, we're just gonna have to try that method that we talked about previously with the pipes. Okay, cut. And a lot of the time this will kind of be the process is just kind of figuring out, okay, did this work? No. All right, let's try it a different way. Did this work? No. All right, let's try it another way. So if it's kind of boring, that's just because, well, it's unwrapping. It'll be a lot of tedious work. So, just be aware. It's a lot of slow work, but eventually once you're done, you'll have a really nice unwrap model. All right, so let's do that. Unfold, straighten UVs. There we go. Same here. Come on. Sorry. Why is this being a little finicky? As per usual. Okay, cut. So I'm gonna grab my shells. And I'm gonna just do a quick projection unwrap. So now with that, I'm gonna grab these, move and so, grab the shell, unfold, optimize, unfold, optimize, and then straighten UVs. All right, so looks like we have everything we need. I think everything should be unwrapped. Yep. So what we're going to do is we're going to just lay out the UVs. Okay, so now we have everything selected. Let's just come over here, go to UV layout, and have a pretty good uh, laid out UVs. Not bad. If you want more options for doing your layouts, you can shift left mouse button and you get a little box. We'll go more into this later after we finish unwrapping the rest of the pieces. All right, so now we're done with that. Time to come over here, and this one we can just unfold. It's such a simple piece. Um, like, look. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it's such a simple piece. If anything, we can probably delete the faces here inside the circle because no one's ever going to see them. But even then, it's a very simple piece. So, don't take too much time with it. Because there, see, it's kind of just hiding within everything else. So, let us begin with unwrapping this piece. Do the isolation. All right, there we go. So, what I'm going to do for this is I'm going to do a cylindrical unwrap on this bigger part, and then I'm going to cut it off and do a bit of like a box cut for the rest over here. So let's see. To start, I should cut off where it's supposed to be. Then shells, unwrap, wrap. My gosh, they look the same. Okay. Um, we can just choose. Yeah, let's just choose this one. Okay, so from here, we can just grab the UV shell, unfold, optimize, unfold, yada, yada, yada. Straighten UVs if you want to. I personally prefer to do it, but that's just me. Honestly, there'll be times when you shouldn't straighten your UVs, um, and it is supposed to be like a metal prop or a metal character. So, all right, let's get back to here, and let's start unwrapping the pieces we need. Go, done and done. Okay, gonna just sew these. We don't need them. Okay, there we go. Sorry, it was getting a little. My mouse was kind of acting up right there. All right, so we have that selected. We could do another cylindrical unwrap. You know what? Let's do that. Let's just do that. Let's bring back this piece. And let's go to UV shell. Let's try unfold. See if we get anything. Okay, no, we didn't get anything. All right, so I'm going to do that. Select this, make a cut, and then from there, there we go. So yeah, so now that we have that cut there and we unfold it, we can get an unwrap that, more or less looks pretty good. Let me just straighten this out. Okay. So optimize, unwrap. Don't try to straighten these UVs because you have UVs within inside that if you're just straightened, they will look gross. Not good. So don't do that. Um, if you want, you can make an edge in here so you can make more clean cuts. You don't have to do that, but it does help. So come over here to unfold. Okay, and do the same over here, unfold. Okay. Sorry about that. Just kind of looking at my meshes and making sure that I have everything I need. So we can move on. You get like a weird look where one side is uh, different from the other. Don't worry. Um, Especially with a piece like this, it's going to be so far out that having the detailed UV won't matter as much as you think. So, all right, let's move on. Here, take that out. These really simple. Just grab it all, sew it, make a cut in the middle. Make sure I'm selecting it right. Middle, yeah, it's the middle. And then cut. All right, gotta check my UV shells. There we go. Go. Unfold and then unfold. Okay, so there you go. Oh, right, we can also lay these out so that they're not on top of each other. You can if you want, but just for the sake of the video, I'll just do that. Okay, so a nice trick to learn, and I'm going to see if I can do it here with this piece down here. Hold on, let me just, there you go. So now you can see the one over here as well. What we can do, instead of unwrapping all these little dots, we can just choose to have them unwrap to one. So we're going to copy this and then transfer it over to this one. To do this, we go and select the first one. This will be the mesh we choose to copy, and then selecting the other one, and then that's going to be saying copy the previous one to the new selection. So we're going to go to mesh, transfer attributes, and before we click it, we're going to go to this little box. So from here, let me just reset everything. What we're going to do is leave everything up here the way it is, but in the attribute settings, we're going to have the sample space be component. So basically what this is going to do is sample from like the relevant area of the mesh and not world space or local space. So everything else should be good. And if you didn't see it, let me just close this. So now, whenever I select either one, they share the exact same UV space. Think of it this way as just saving UV space when you have multiple objects in the same area. They won't need to be, uniquely unwrapped or like have a giant space. They're so small when you see it from here. It'll be okay to do something like that. So just be careful. They do need to be kind of the same shape. I'm pretty sure if there was like a loop missing on here, it'd have a hard time because it needs to be exact. I could be wrong, but that is definitely something that I've had trouble with in the past. So do the other side. First one selected. Now the new one is selected. Go to mesh, transfer attributes, and there you go. See, one and done. Like nothing. So we'll leave those for now, and we'll come over here to unwrap this piece. Again, to start off, just gonna go to edges, select them all, sew. I'm going to start choosing my pieces that I'm going to have cut. Before I do that, let me just isolate it. There we go. So that's selected. Select this. And come over here. That's not it. That was weird. Man, I swear. Ever since I started making this little corner, Maya just does not want me to have fun. weird. If you come across troubles like that, just move your camera around. Just try to make sure you can get the good angle on your selection because even right now, like it's sort of showing in the middle, but before it wasn't. So just be careful. All right, so now we have this. Let me begin with doing my cuts. And just to see if it works or not, let's unfold. There you go. See? Look, pretty good. Not bad. We're going to keep this wood, so, good idea to not have anything straightened out, even if we really wanted to. Unfold, optimize, unfold, unfold, unfold. Doesn't have to be specifically like 100% 90-degree angled. That's good. All right, last one. Unfold, optimize, unfold. Okay, put this over here. Okay. Now, I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, select these. Deselect those. Okay, so now I'm going to just do the same thing again. Could try to stack these because it's mirrored, but I want to keep this unique because um, this in itself is a handle, so I feel like it should stay unique with having one side, you know, with its own unique textures and the other with own unique textures. In a video game, we would be copying and pasting every single thing, so this wouldn't apply. But for right now, this is just more meant as teaching you guys how to, unwrap where and when and best practices sort of kind of thing. So uh, do this thing again. Go to unfold, optimize, unfold, optimize. All right, and over here, fold, optimize. Last one, optimize. You know the deal. So now that leaves us with this giant piece right here. Okay, so select that, cut. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was looking over here and I thought I noticed there was a seam already made, but that's not for this building. Okay, so what we can do now is grab the shell once again. Then with this, we can just leave it like that really. So lay it out. Align some of these so they just fit better because right now it's a little wonky. At least for me it is. Okay, so we're done with this. We don't have to stay here anymore. I just wanted to look at it just to make sure. And we can worry about the UVs later. That's fine. Okay, so this should be the last piece, and we already have some cuts happening here. So let's just get through this and make the cuts that we need. Nope, there you go, cut. Then cut here. Okay, that looks good. Cut. Come on, there you go. So, so now grab the shell, fold, or do a base selection. Sometimes even unfolding, it won't show up until you have it um, become created or unwrapped. Um, the thing I was mentioning before about how when you can just unfold without needing to unwrap, you would need to have your UVs shown how kind of how this one is, and not how we have these flat little lines. So to get to the part I'm pretty sure you're all waiting for is unwrapping this again. So really straightforward. Like that, like that. So for this one, keep the seam in the inside. We can leave it sewn on the outside. So let me just start. Okay, that looks good. I'll move and sew. Grab the shell, unfold it, optimize, unfold, optimize, unfold. I just straighten from there. Okay, so now we have the other pieces of the piece. Okay, that's done. That looks good. That's done. That's okay. Okay, so optimize, unfold, optimize, unfold, optimize, unfold. All right, that one's done. Okay, so more or less have what we need. Now, this may not work only because it's different UVs and different vertices and different spaces, but let's give it a shot. So first, let me just do a UV layout so we know what we're looking at. Then select this, copy, not copy, and then select the other one. Let's try mesh transfer attributes. And there you go. What do you know? Got pretty look in that one. Sometimes it can be a little bit finicky. So, just keep an eye out for something like that. Okay, that looks good. So we can start by taking all these pieces, adding them to our overall UV map we're going to have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start combining these pieces together. Notice how I'm only selecting the pieces I need and not all the pieces. That's because the ones that we could copy, we're going to copy again after we lay out the UVs that we want. You'll see what I mean right now. So let's see, you're going to combine. With the combine, we will, we will bring up the shift left click for layout. So uh, for this will kind of align all the textures in a way where it'll kind of put them all more or less a little bit more uniform. So, okay, that looks good. You don't have to change much. I just prefer using a high resolution map. You're done, there you go. So now everything's kind of like neatly packaged, and if we were to show the UVs, so, well, okay, they need a little bit of work, but um, it's looking better than it was before. Try this one. There we go. That's what I was looking for. So now, as you can see, all the checkers are pretty darn close. I feel like this one's slightly bigger, but I feel like that doesn't matter as much as it did before. Because if you want to see, before small checkers, big checkers, but now there you go. Got them a little bit better. So uh, next, what we're going to do is close this. We don't need that anymore. And then close that or turn off that. So now that we have this set up, we're going to lay them out along the V-axis. So when I do that, there, see, it aligns them pretty well, all flat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these, I'm going to select them and drag them over here. So what I'm going to be doing is essentially using more of my UV space that I can so that I'm not wasting it. So come over here and I'm going to hold X and I'm going to just grab the move gizmo and try to snap it right at the origin over here between all this U1, V1, 10, 1, 0. So do that, scale it out. I'm going to grab these, I'm going to scale them out. Because now we have a lot more space. We can make more higher detailed unwraps or UVs. So we can leave it at that. Already, that's kind of uh, making more than what we need. There was another way you could align these, and it was a way that you could use so that you could get a good amount of space between them. I thought it was this, but it's not. Give me a second, I'm just gonna put dangle here. No. Well, either way, this is fine. Need to kind of adjust some things as you go along, but make sure you have space for your UVs. You don't want them like touching, kind of like how this is, how these are. Just kind of grabbing every other one. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Okay, sorry. There we go. So, I'd say with this, we can kind of move forward with our UVs, and these would be essentially ready to texture. So, um, before we head out and texture these, I just want to make sure not to forget the other pieces that we don't have selected on here. Hold on. I think I just saw something really quick. Ah, I see. Okay, missed one. But that's all right, because now, over here, just scale it to kind of what we already have anyways, and there you go. Quick fix. All right, so we have the bolt that we're gonna kind of copy to other bolts. So I'm gonna separate this. Correct face. There we go. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna transfer attributes to each and every one of these. So mesh, transfer attribute, and select it, mesh. If you want to repeat the last operation you did, press G, and it just copies it. So quick little thing, especially if you're repeating the same operation over and over again. See, there you go. Like it was nothing. Okay. And oh, right, we're gonna do the same with this one. Extract face. Fine. Um, select that. Mesh. Attributes. There you go. So now when I select everything, there should be perfectly in space, no floating, no unwrapped, unwrapped, I guess if you want to call it that, pieces. So there we go. Now I'll just combine everything and then smooth it out. So you don't have to, but I am going to uh, export this as a smooth out surface. And I'll show you in a little bit the cool trick that you can use in Substance. So um, I'm going to select the mesh, and it should be in Modify. So in Modify, I'm going to come down to Convert, and then Convert to Smooth Mesh Preview to Polygons. So what this will do is this will create the smooth out version from the preview. But if you can tell, it's a little bit of like a weird angles happening. That's because the UVs are based off of the low poly mesh, not this smooth out mesh. So really easy to fix though. Just unfold or optimize. Was it? No. We have the mesh. That's a first. All right, that should do it. So now I think I can unfold all these. No. All right. I guess it said no. Hmm. Ah, I see. I pressed the wrong selection. This is select straighten shell. Now it's straightening my UVs. Well, this might cause a problem. Well, we'll see right now. Okay, well, we may or may not have just caused mine to crash, but basically, once you get to this unwrapped part, uh, you can take it into a texturing software, or you can just bring in your own UV textures and just plop them right in. And, should be no problem, really. So, having said that, um, let me know if there's any questions you have or any problems you're running into. You know where to contact me. So, besides that, have a good meet. It was nice to talk to you guys again, and I will see you in the next one.